Inside this orbiting laboratory, commercial manufacturing capsules are synthesizing materials that are physically impossible to create on the surface of the Earth. Building an industrial base in space requires solving a strictly bifurcated optimization problem. Every operation is governed entirely by the mass-to-value ratio of the target material. The first paradigm operates in low Earth orbit. By exploiting the sustained free-fall environment, we can synthesize low-mass, exceedingly high-value molecular structures without the interference of gravity. This delta-V contour map compares Earth's deep energy well against the Moon. The second paradigm exploits the Moon's shallow gravity well to process high-mass infrastructure materials. Earth's permanent launch penalty prohibits bulk export, requiring 7 times more energy to transport mass to orbit. Mastering the orbital economy means solving 2 distinct physical constraints: achieving atomic-level quality in low Earth orbit and scaling bulk mass extraction on the Moon. On a microscopic scale, terrestrial manufacturing is severely limited by gravity-driven fluid dynamics. Looking at this cross-section of a molten preform, the constant downward pull of a 1g gravity vector induces thermal convection currents. As the material cooling, buoyancy and sedimentation inevitably stratify particle densities, disrupting the crystalline structure. Terrestrial processing also suffers from heterogeneous nucleation. Physical contact between the cooling material and its crucible forces structural defects into the final product. Moving the production floor to the microgravity environment of the International Space Station neutralizes both hydrostatic pressure and convection. In a quiescent zero-G environment, multi-phase self-assembly occurs without the disruption of thermal currents. Fluids maintain a uniform internal structure throughout the cooling phase. This enables true containerless processing. Using acoustic or electromagnetic levitator furnaces, the molten material is suspended in a vacuum, entirely eliminating the crucible and the contamination that comes with it. Low Earth orbit serves as an optimal thermodynamic laboratory, providing the precise physical conditions necessary to eliminate atomic-level manufacturing defects. The primary candidate for microgravity synthesis is a heavy metal fluoride glass known as ZBLAN. On Earth, its susceptibility to gravity-induced crystallization makes it exceedingly difficult to manufacture without flaws. Recent payloads aboard the ISS National Lab have successfully drawn kilometers of ZBLAN optical fiber, demonstrating that removing convective forces eliminates the light-scattering defects that plague terrestrial production. This line chart graphs signal attenuation over distance. Notice the sharp drop-off of terrestrial silica optical fibers compared to the nearly flat loss curve of microgravity-drawn ZBLAN, which achieves 10 to 100 times less signal loss. In global telecommunications, submarine cables require energy-intensive inline optical repeaters every 50 kilometers to boost signals. Extending the distance between those repeaters utilizing flawless optical fibers will drastically reduce global energy consumption. The exponential increase in material performance vastly outweighs the transportation costs. For low-mass, high-value goods, microgravity manufacturing is highly economical. Maintaining these orbital laboratories introduces a macroscopic problem. Orbital infrastructure consumes heavy, bulk materials, primarily oxygen propellant and physical radiation shielding. Subjecting tons of bulk consumables to Earth's launch energy penalty is mathematically prohibitive. The physical solution to this mass bottleneck relies entirely on in-situ resource utilization on the lunar surface. This equation defines the mass payback ratio, dividing the mass returned to orbit by the mass of the hardware imported from Earth. To yield a net energy gain, the imported extraction facility must be a strict fraction of the total usable mass it produces. Achieving that ratio is constrained by the lunar environment. Terrestrial metallurgy relies heavily on water, consumable carbon anodes, and chemical fluxes, none of which are on the Moon. Securing a positive mass payback ratio depends on extracting pure elements from raw lunar rock, utilizing only the hard vacuum of space and concentrated solar energy. The thermodynamic pathways for achieving this were heavily detailed in a 1983 NASA technical report focused on the reduction of lunar silicates. The starting material is the lunar regolith itself, composed largely of heavily oxidized basalts. The first viable methodology to separate these oxides is magma electrolysis. This diagrams a magma electrolysis cell. Melting basalt requires 2000 Kelvin using pure heat, without chemical fluxes or consumable anodes. The challenge is maintaining ionic conduction. If parasitic semiconduction takes over, current bypasses the material, failing to separate oxygen from mixed metals. A second extraction methodology circumvents this entirely: vapor phase reduction via direct solar concentration. By heating the granulated oxides to 3000 Kelvin, the material vaporizes. Oxygen dissociates, allowing downstream capture while heavier suboxides solidify. Pushing this model to extreme temperature regimes between 7,000 and 10,000 Kelvin transitions the vapor into a thermal plasma. This temperature phase graph maps selective ionization. In this thermal gap, structures diverge. Metals become ionized while oxygen remains neutral. An electromagnetic field then physically separates the states, extracting ionized metals from the flow to yield 51% mixed metals and 38% pure oxygen. These extracted mixed metals must then undergo secondary vacuum distillation to isolate precise structural elements like aluminum, silicon, and titanium. Extracting lunar resources dictates operating at extreme thermodynamic thresholds, but it provides the only mathematical pathway to satisfy the mass payback ratio. Space manufacturing operates across a dual-front thermodynamic optimization problem, and the engineering to solve it is actively under development. In low Earth orbit, microgravity provides a flawless fluid dynamics environment, yielding perfect crystal lattices for next-generation photonics and semiconductors. On the lunar surface, extracting raw mass from the shallow gravity well provides the heavy consumables required to sustain those orbital laboratories. This supply chain loop illustrates how these vectors intersect. Heavy lunar oxygen payloads, isolated via high-temperature electrolysis, travel down to refuel orbital transfer vehicles in low Earth orbit. Fully fueled without terrestrial propellant, those vehicles transport high-value commercial payloads safely back into Earth's atmosphere. A self-sustaining orbital economy scales when we successfully pair the micro-scale physics of weightlessness with the macro-scale mass economics of the lunar surface.